I had a tendency to always put other people first and, be the, yes, I'll do that. And yes, I'll do that. And at my own expense, usually. Once you have children and you have to make some bigger decisions, you can advocate for your child more. What really feels true for you, you're more inclined to do it if it's for your child.
Welcome to the Radiant Mom Rising, the podcast that's all about celebrating and empowering the incredible, hardworking mothers out there. I'm your host, Mary Dibble. I'm on a mission to equip you with the tools, strategies, and inspiration you need to conquer the challenges of motherhood and life, all while embracing your radiant self. Join us each week for amazing guest interviews, relatable stories, and a whole lot of fun. We're here to create a vibrant, supportive community where we can be our authentic selves, where no one feels alone, and where we uplift and cheer each other on along this incredible journey of motherhood. So, fellow Radiant Moms, get ready to rise, shine, and conquer the world. Let's grow together, laugh together, and make every week a celebration of the powerful, radiant moms we are. This is Radiant Mom Rising, and you're part of a community where your brilliance shines through. Are you ready to rise with us? Let's get started. Thank you for tuning in to the Radiant Mom Rising podcast. I'm Mary Dibble, your host, and today I get to sit down and talk with the sweet Maria Odlum. She's a mother to two beautiful humans, a parent mentor, intuitive counselor, Reiki Master, and founder of Parenting with Soul. A new path and a whole new world opened up for her with the arrival of her first child. And amongst all the busyness of being a mom and having a young family, Maria managed to hear and listen to the little voice within, and she found the courage to completely show up in alignment of what truly made her soul sing. After being a teacher for over 20 years, she now works with mamas to help guide them in their parenting journey, but most importantly, for them to maintain soulful and soul-filling connections with themselves and other fellow mamas. Her most recent creation is a podcast, Soulful Mamas, which is a space for mamas to share, to be heard, to be witnessed, and to feel connected and loved. We certainly are both on very similar paths for you moms, and it was so sweet just getting to sit down with her. I admire her so much. I love her story. I think you all are going to absolutely enjoy her. So without further ado, welcome Miss Maria Odlum.
Thanks for tuning in. Mary Dibble, your host of Radiant Mom Rising. I'm joined with Maria Odlum. How are you doing today, Miss Maria? I'm doing great. Awesome. Thank you for having me. Oh, thank you for coming on the show. It's so wonderful connecting and meeting with amazing women, especially when they're on the same path as I'm on right now. You have the same visions of helping moms out. Please share a little bit of your story with the listeners of who you are, what's your journey been like to get to where you are and what you do now. Cool. Yeah, it's a little bit, where do you start? Many paths. I trained as a teacher and I taught for many years. And then it wasn't until I had my first child, who's now 13 and a half. I have two children, 13 and 11, that things start to change. I had a tendency to always put other people first and, be the, yes, I'll do that. And yes, I'll do that. And at my own expense, usually. Once you have children and you have to make some bigger decisions, you can advocate for your child more. What really feels true for you, you're more inclined to do it if it's for your child. Does that make sense? Yes, yes. Yeah, you might have said, oh, fine, it's okay, I don't need that. But when it's your child, like, actually, no, he does need that, or I need this for him. Yeah. So my path completely changed when Jack, my son, came along, and just simple things. I love Mother Earth. I love looking after the environment. So things like cloth nappies are important for me. Diapers, I think you guys call them. I'm from New Zealand, by the way. And just doing things very naturally and holistically. And I just owned it. Normally I'd not do things because I didn't want to offend people or make it awkward for people or put other people out. And no, this is really important for me and our family. So this is what we're going to do. So I started really, I guess that was the beginnings of really starting to stand up for what my true values were and speaking them out loud, if you like. But it wasn't until my daughter was born 2 years later that my path completely changed, because she had severe eczema, really, really, really bad eczema, as in head to toe, looked like third-degree burns. It was just, and they didn't know why, and they didn't know how, and they didn't know what to do apart from prescribe me like topical. So yeah, just steroid cream after steroid cream, and she's a baby, so it just did not feel right at all to have to do what they wanted me to do. And no one knows your child more than a mum. I feel through that. Obviously, there's different levels of that, but no one's going to advocate more for your child than you. No one knows them more than you. And so you, yes, can go to a doctor and they are the professional and they are trained in X, Y, and Z, but they give you 10 minutes of their time and say, yes, eczema, here's the steroid cream. And that there's no getting to the underlying root cause of why is this happening to this baby? It doesn't make sense. And I was saying it doesn't make sense so many times. And so I then went on this quest to learn as much as I possibly could, researching and conversations and workshops and courses. And just when I'd go back to the specialist, I'd say, and I'd suggest, what about this? And they'd say, stop reading these things. And then one time he said to me, what quackery are you listening to now, Maria? It was the naturopath. I thought, a naturopath to me is not quackery. So I started this, I call it the smile and the nod and smile. So in the doctor's office, I'd do this, oh yeah. But as soon as I left, we're like, okay, so I'm going to do the opposite basically of what they said. So we went on this really big healing journey to heal her skin, to heal her gut, to their inner work. And on that path is what led me to, I learned Reiki. I'm now a Reiki Master, counseling, working with mums. I don't think any of those things would be happening now if that experience didn't happen with my daughter. It just sort of cracked my heart right open. And okay, I did go from wanting to fix it, and then I realized I can't fix it, but I'm going to work with it and equip myself and look after myself enough so that I can fully look after her. Because life was not fun. She was in a lot of pain and discomfort, and we never slept. And it was just, hard for a good few years. But we did it. We got through it, and we got through it by me. Well, everything that she ate and everything that went in her body, basically, and on her body, I made myself. So her creams, her food, because it had to be just whole, no preservatives, no chemicals, nothing. So the only way to actually get that was to make it myself. So that's what I did. And now her skin, she's 11, she's amazing. She's not completely eczema free. She has patches here and there sometimes, but she is a beautiful, healthy girl. Wonderful. And she has been for a good few years, but it took, I guess that's I don't know, the determination in me or the stubbornness in me, but I was determined that I was going to help her and it got to the point where I wanted to change it I knew nothing about epigenetics. I knew nothing about Bruce Lipton or all of those people back then. But something within me was, I'm going to change this at a genetic level. I don't want her children to have to go through this. Yeah. Because all the other girl children on my husband's side of the family had eczema badly. And so I thought, I'm rewriting the story for her. This isn't going to happen for her children. And then after that, then I learned about it's actually a thing, epigenetics. And so basically, I was listening. When I listened to that inner guidance, that inner wisdom,
that soul voice, whatever you want to call it, when I truly listened to that, it never steered me wrong. That's when I got the answers and the absolute knowing of what I needed to do or not do, and really advocate for her, but look after myself so I could look after her. It was when you can tap into that wisdom, which is connected to a greater wisdom, if you like, it just doesn't steer you wrong. That's what I found. Yeah.
I love it. That's, yeah, your intuition. It's such a beautiful thing. And when you can learn to truly tap into that and trust in it, I believe that it's connected to that higher power, whether you believe it's God or the universe or what it is, that it's way it's like almost communicating with you and letting you know and helping to guide you through your life. And I think so many of us have built, you know, we, like you say, we're so worried about what everybody else thinks or how we're going to offend somebody. So we shut it down and it becomes almost a whisper. And so we stop being able to listen to that. And I think it's so important for us to learn to grow that and make that the loud voice in us,
Absolutely.
That's so important. So tell us a little bit about what you do now because of everything you've learned and the things you went through, how that led you to what you do now.
Yeah. So, and this is, I think, sometimes you have in your life when it's a direct communication from something else because it's not on your trajectory. So I was teaching and I still taught. I'd just gone back to work after my maternity leave had finished with my daughter, and her eczema was at that point, it was just sort of starting. It was just sort of, it wasn't bad.
Mhm.
I really, really, really did not want to go back to work. Like it was every fiber of my being did not want to go back to it. It's not that I didn't love my work, but when you're working with children, you want to give your all. So it's really, and now I have my own children. I wanted to give my all to them, and it's the balance that every one of us have to navigate. But I didn't want to go, but we had to for financial reasons. I had to, so I just had to accept that and then work with it. And it had only been maybe 2 or 3 months, and I'd been back there. And one of the girls she's a training teacher, and she'd been away on a teaching practicum. I don't know what you call it over there, but where you go to another school or centre and you're a student teacher type thing. But I don't know if you know, like doctors and nurses.
An intern probably is what we would call it. An intern, if you're going as a student to do follow.
To learn. Yeah.
Learn from that person without necessarily, I don't know if you guys pay. They just sometimes they're paid interns and those are free interns, depending on what they are, is what I'm thinking that is.
Yeah, it's probably like that. She is not paid, but she's doing her training course to be a teacher. So part of that, you've got to go and visit other places and be there for a while. Anyway, she came back and she said to me, "Oh my God, Maria, I found your place." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "Oh, this place is so you," because I was kind of, not that I didn't fit in, but I liked more earthy things, and I'd bring in more natural resources, and I would be wanting the children to play more, like deeply play, rather than be so regimented with that. Anyway, and it was a Waldorf kindergarten that she'd been to. So I don't know if you know much about Rudolf Steiner, Waldorf education. And we'd only recently moved to Hamilton, where I was living, and I didn't know there was a school there. I didn't know much about it. And as soon as she said it, I don't know if you have that feeling in your body, like goosebumps, I didn't know what it meant that I had such a big response to her saying about this school that I knew nothing about. And something made me look it up. And I was like, wow, it was very much in alignment with me. It's very a holistic education style. And then, like a few weeks later, a job there was advertised, and it needed a fully qualified Steiner teacher, which I am not. And still I had this voice of this something inside me pushing me, making me, I can't even tell you where it came from. And so I listened to it rather than resisting it. And I thought, okay, So just kept getting curious and applied for this job. And I ended up getting this job. It was the most grueling interview I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah.
And it just changed my whole path of where I went as an educator. Like, it was completely in alignment where I was supposed to be. I could take my children there, and we are still there in the world of education. And it's so grateful. And I said to my principal a year or two later, who interviewed me as well, and I said, because by that point I was helping her interview other new people. I said, why did you employ me? Like, I had nothing. And she said, you didn't need that stuff, Maria. It was your heart. I knew this is right for you.
Yeah.
Like, there was just something. I could feel it. The other interviewers felt it, and it was just a knowing. And I was feeling it. And none of us probably knew why. Like, it was just
The way
something
things-
greater. Yeah. Yeah. And it was incredible. So I went from teaching in there to then very soon running the parent groups. So I do working with mums and their children. And at that point, the mums were often coming with some really, really big questions or concerns or challenges or things they're experiencing in their lives that were massive. And I'm a great listener. That's always been one of my things I can do pretty well. But I thought, I'm not fully qualified to really support you through postnatal depression, and I wanted to be able to. So then I went and did my counselling training, and it's more of a holistic counselling training. So,
Attention, hardworking moms. Are you ready to kickstart your journey to a thriving online business? Introducing Learn and Earn Profits Online Max, a groundbreaking digital resale course that's revolutionizing success. Learn how to create your own funnel and sell this exact course, pocketing a whopping 100% of the profits. Yes, you heard that right, 100% yours. Lipo Max is an enhanced platform packed with incredible modules and valuable insights designed to elevate your online business game. Don't miss this chance to join a supportive community where hard work meets exceptional opportunities. Say goodbye to the hassle of creating courses from scratch. Lipo Max does the heavy lifting for you, empowering you to learn and earn in an environment tailored for your success. Act fast and secure your spot in this game-changing program and set yourself up for a prosperous life. Join the Lipo Max community today. Click on the link in the show notes to learn more or contact me today with any questions.
and it just evolved. You know how things just evolve?
They do. I mean, like, it's because you took the chances. You went out there and put yourself out there. You learn new things. You let yourself explore new things. And that's what it's all about in life, and putting yourself out there, trying things and seeing what works.
Yeah.
And I can imagine the things you've learned through that. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just incredible of when you allow yourself to follow and trust
Mhm.
rather than resistance and make excuses about, oh no, no. Because you're staying in that fearful space and the safe space.
Yeah. The
And
comfort
the
zone.
yeah, and the space actually that probably on the outside makes more sense. It didn't make sense for me to change jobs when I had a secure job and to change everything about what was happening for my family. But I just, and for some reason, my husband, not that he would say no, but he was really like, yep, if that's what we do, if that's what
That's
you need to
awesome.
do, that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
I truly feel like we were guided in that time, and I can't explain to you or the who, how, what. I just know that it was one of those meant to be, and it was pivotal because I could have made a different choice and said no and stayed in my safe zone. But I also knew that the place where I was at, it really didn't resonate with me, that style. And when you have your own children about to go into that same system, you think, this is not what I want for my kid.
Mhm.
And I think that comes back to that, the advocating for your child, probably that, me thinking,
Yes. I think it
do something else.
yeah, it's like it motivates you when you become a mom because it's no longer just about you. And so just having that love, that unconditional love,
Mm,
and wanting to protect them and make sure they have everything that maybe you couldn't have, but you also want to go about it better than how you went through it. So it's like all of that just motivates you to take different paths a lot of times. But it's for so many too, it also can trap you because, like you say, so many of us self-sacrifice and we end up putting our stuff aside because we focus so much solely on that. And there needs to be that proper balance because we want to be the examples and the role models for our kids to show them that it's important to take care of yourself, to love yourself, to pursue
yeah.
your dreams as well. And and I think it sounds like your journey, from what I hear, what I love is how when you made that decision, when you had your kids, that you no longer were going to allow outside influence dictate who you are, and you were going to be more true to what you want and what you value. That's when the doors of opportunities open for you. That's when you
Yeah.
started attracting what you were meant to do. And I think that's what I've been learning through my journey is that the more we get true to who we are and we make that decision that we're going
Mm,
to do what we want for our lives and we're going to trust and believe in it, the doors of opportunities that open are incredible. Like I've been shocked even of some of the things that have happened since I just made that decision
yeah.
just to take care of myself, to love myself, to choose me. And it's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. It's so many, so many. And, even like working with mums, because I'm only just like that, I'm through the baby and the toddler trenches, if you like. I've come through that, but it's not that long ago that I haven't forgotten. I know what it's like, and I know what it's like to have extreme challenges. So, but even then, it's hard for parents, mums, to allow themselves to be held in that way and supported because they're so in it that they can't see the wood for the trees, if you like. It's one step after the other. So it's my biggest hope and dream that I can just walk alongside them and just let them know that you're not alone. You're not alone. And even if it's just that person, me, walking, holding your hand or not, and just navigating through this time and without all of the shoulding. I'm all about no shoulding. You should do this, you shouldn't do that.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
get as mums so much pressure on how it should look and where you should send your children. And
Yeah.
uh,
I mean,
it's
you have to think too, we were programmed like that ourselves. I mean, as parents, like we have been conditioned to growing up, you're told, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, this, do that. This makes you a good boy. This makes you a good girl. Like, so
yeah,
we literally were programmed to be that way. And even I still have to catch myself to
yeah,
watch how I encourage or speak or even discipline my kids to not shut them down and feel like they're not allowed to express themselves or not allowed to feel things because I never really had that. I was just told, do this, do that, be this, blah, blah, blah. And of course,
yeah,
it turned me into a rebellious teenager because once I got out of that, development of like now realizing, oh, I can choose what I want kind of to a point.
yes,
I still was in that immature mindset of being like, well, I don't want to listen to that. I don't want to believe that just because you said so. And so I decided to take it the route, which was dangerous for me because it got
yes,
to a very dark path. But that's what it is. And so it is so important to have like that person who is an expert, who has not only just the knowledge from what you've learned, but you have the experience. You've been there, done that. You've learned, you've grown. Who
mm,
better and to guide a mom who is facing challenges, who is struggling. I know I have a blend because I have a 2, a 4, and now a 15-year-old. So I have a little bit of experience with the young ones still. Like now I'm having such a different experience with my young ones now that I'm in my 30s than I did with my son when I had him when I was 20.
yes,
So I mean, it's such a different experience. And we're on different like journeys and paths. So I would like to ask you if there's a mom out there that is struggling with maybe being a new mom or just with dealing with toddlers or whatnot, what would be like one piece of advice that you would offer as somebody who would work with you?
yeah. It's such a good question. I think the one piece, if I think of the thread of all the things that I would say to everybody, the one thing that I would always say is finding that just that moment of stillness where you can take a few really conscious breaths and just for that moment tap into that inner wisdom, because it's there. It's guiding us all the time, but we are so busy and so stressed and so worried about getting it right or wrong that we don't listen. But when we're still enough, it's the stillness where the wisdom can come through. And it's all there. It is all there. Every single mama out there has this ability and capacity. We all can do it. It's just, we've got many layers of pudding on us.
Yes, 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 yes.
Just allowing that moment, because that moment creates another moment, which is another moment. And the next thing you know, oh, look at me. I could finish this cup of tea in peace for the last 15 minutes. Usually I never, the momentum starts with that one pause. And it's a conscious pause, though, where you're really, what is it that I need to do? What is it that I need to ask? And allowing ourselves that space, that pause,
Yes.
like a little sacred pause, I call it. And then the answers come. It's like magic. It is magic, but it's trusting. You've got it. And when you don't have it, that's when you call on that friend or that guide or that whoever that can actually hold your hand and walk alongside you and support you in that time of need. But if that isn't there, your internal compass is there always.
I agree. It's actually a huge part of what I teach because of the present moment. There's nothing like that. Just taking that moment to pause and really get in tuned. And there's actually a practice I do with that, because the more and more you practice and gain more of the ability to get that in your present, you have the more control of how you respond rather than our natural reactions, because we all got the reactions that is autopilot. Unfortunately, and that's what we want to work towards, is like getting and like I said, be kind to yourself. This is not something that you're going to go to sleep with or do for like a couple weeks, a couple months, and you're just going to be, oh, I'm going to get this every time. That's the point of having that community, that support system, because we are all going to have our dips. We're all going to have our ups and downs. You have your good days. I would say even yesterday, for instance, I was so uplifted with having such a great day, having beautiful interviews. I was on interviewing on a podcast, and it was just one of those days I was floating on cloud nine, wonderful. But then my daughter is sick, and I'm ending up at 3:30 in the morning in the emergency room with her. And so it's like, it's all over the place as far as, I had to cancel my uncle's 50th birthday party we're going to host. It's so funny how we can have so much great things going for us, but life happens and things happen, and you just got to find that way of just choosing to come back. How do I want to respond to this? How do I want to feel about this? Is this as bad as I'm feeling that it is? Could I look at it in a different way? Could I that's
absolutely
a powerful thing. Like you say, we all have the power to do this if we'll just choose it and practice it and do it. So I absolutely love what you do. I think it's fantastic. We need this. I think so many moms out there need this.
Yeah. And we're quite disconnected, more so today than ever before, in terms of that village. We don't all have that village support system, with parents that are living nearby or aunties, I know in New Zealand especially, not especially, but definitely in New Zealand, many of us don't have family close by. We've moved to different towns, different cities. I find that people have really good friend networks. But if your friend network is now your baby group friends, then they all have babies at the exact same time as you. So it's hard to ask for help when they too have got a newborn and a toddler. It's not as easy for people to reach out and having that older auntie or friend or neighbor. It's just a little bit fractured, I feel, at the moment. And that disconnection is quite evident. So it's just bringing that that back in where we can feel supported and held, and giving ourselves permission to actually ask for help or say, this is happening for me. I need this. Yeah. Rather than just go, 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 and normalize that. Because I really feel like busy is not a great thing to say. It's almost like, when people say, how are you? You say, oh yeah, good, I'm busy. And they'll say, good. Well, it's not good. It's not good. Because it's like, that's the expected answer, that you're busy. If you said, oh yeah, I've just been spending a bit of time having lots of cups of teas and like contemplation and stillness and meditation, they'll be like, what? What are you doing with your What are you doing with your time?
Yeah, that's right. We're not used to that long answer. We're just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm busy. Yeah, but there, you are dead on. That is so true. We do have a tendency to do that, and we don't feel like we have that permission sometimes to even, like you say, just ask for help and seek it out. But it's so important, and for me, it's been one of my greatest lessons too. Is the importance of seeking that help and that comfort and the groups, because I am like you. I didn't have the support. Like I do have my mom, who I'm very grateful for, but for so much of my life, I just didn't have family, and even friends who I thought would be there just abandoned me. And, especially when I had my two most recent kids, family members who said they would be here and be like, oh, I'll come have lunch with you, or oh, I'll come give you a break. Nothing happened. Didn't get the invitations to hang out with them stopped. It was like I felt so alone on my journey. And there were so many things that I was going through that I didn't feel like I had anyone to turn to. Thankfully, I had my husband to turn to. But as a woman, we kind of want that woman.
Yeah, to go.
There's something about that womanly support. So I 100% agree with what you're saying, and I think it is so crucial. So anyone out there listening who may be contemplating, struggling, like, you're not alone. We're out here. We want to support you. We want to love on you. We want to encourage you. We want to help you get past whatever it is you're going through. Just know that. Just reach out. That's what we're here for. You don't have to keep this pinned down inside of you. You don't have to suffer through it all. There's so many of us out there. Maria, do you have like a business name or a website that you can share with the listeners if they want to find you?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my business name is Parenting with Soul, and website is under construction right now, but I have
no problem. Yeah. Well, I'll eventually get that added to the show notes whenever you get that ready, but share with me and we'll make sure under the show notes, you'll get links even just to follow her. If you're on Facebook, Instagram, we'll make sure that we have all that so you can connect with her, as well as your podcast. Tell us a little bit about your podcasts.
Thank you. Yeah, my podcast is called Soulful Mamas. So it's based, I'm trying to bring the village into the podcasting world, I guess, for mamas. Yeah, stories are shared, experiences are shared, wisdom, tips. It's about everyday mum, that we each have a story, we each have a journey. So it's bringing mums in where you can basically for half an hour sit down, feel like you can listen, you can be heard, be seen, and you'll be nodding your head in agreement, thinking, oh yes, that's me, and just feel like really held and supported, like you're sitting in circle with a cup of tea with your fellow mamas. Even though I know it's online, but you still feel like, oh yeah, I'm not alone in this.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what's the beauty of podcasting. It's why I've fallen in love with it myself. And I love that we're on this journey, because it is a great way to connect with so many people out there that you can't meet in person. So we can all still feel like we're with each other, and we can support and uplift, and just like I said, have this chill conversation that we just feel like, oh man, that's me. I understand this. And I love it. It's inspiring my day. It's making me feel like I want to go out there and make the best of it. And that's my goal. Yeah. That's what I want. I want to inspire you, uplift you, make you feel good one way or another.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, Maria, I cannot thank you enough for being part of this show. And, please, I'd love to be on your show one day. I hope to have you back on my show.
Yeah.
I love this journey, and I really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Isn't Maria such a sweetheart? We appreciate you tuning in and hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as we enjoyed having it. Here are some takeaways from today's episode. Making the decision to no longer let outside influences dictate who you are and being true to what you value can open doors of opportunities. When you decide to trust and believe in your own path, opportunities you are meant to encounter start to appear. Taking care of yourself, loving yourself, and choosing yourself can lead to unexpected and beautiful outcomes. Parenting can be challenging, especially for new moms or those dealing with toddlers. It's crucial to allow yourself to be supported and know that you're not alone on this journey. Finding a moment of stillness to take conscious breaths can help you tap into your inner wisdom, guiding you through challenges and decisions. Being present and practicing mindfulness allows you to have more control over your responses and how you feel about various situations. It's essential to give yourself permission to ask for help and seek out a support system when you're going through tough times. Even in our busy lives, connecting with others and building a supportive community is essential for our well-being and resilience. Maria's podcast, Soulful Mamas, is a platform where everyday moms can share their stories and experiences, helping others feel seen, heard, and supported. Podcasting provides a virtual space for moms to connect, share their experiences, and realize they're not alone in this journey. Overall, you don't have to face motherhood or life's challenges alone. There is support and wisdom available to help you navigate through difficult times and find joy in the everyday moments. So, take a moment of stillness, trust in your inner wisdom, and reach out to the communities and resources that can provide the support and encouragement you need and deserve. Be sure to subscribe to Maria's podcast and follow her on social media. Links will be below in the show notes. Lastly, subscribe to my show and leave me a review. Your feedback is much appreciated. If you want my support on your journey towards creating a life you desire, then visit me at marydibblecoaching.com or contact me on social media to learn more about my offers and programs and how I can help you find the results you are longing for. Let us radiant moms continue to rise and enjoy life to the fullest. Until next time, much love.